Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. So we got some news today from the FOMC meeting. Fed Powell actually spoke today. We're getting 25 basis points increase. Markets didn't like it too much, but Bitcoin and Ethereum were up on the day, so that was good. And the miners were really mixed on the day. So we're going to take a look at what's going on there, along with some of the new stories that we do have. So we have up here, we got Bit Digital is providing their monthly update for April, along with Cleanspark and Riot blockchain. So we're going to pile through these really quick as best we can, keep it under hopefully under 30 minutes for you guys. And then as always, there's gonna be chapters on the bottom. And I'm gonna put out clips of these videos as well. So we'll make them a little bit shorter for you guys to watch them that way if you enjoy. Okay, but as always, this is not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research. I'm investing in finding coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously, as you guys know. And let's take a look at what's going on with the markets here. So S&P was down today 0.7% to 4,090. Dow Jones was down 0.8% to 33,414. NASDAQ was down 0.64% to 13,030. Bitcoin, on the other hand, was actually up today. It was up, and it actually closed. Well, it closed yesterday above our resistance line of 28,600. It did it again today, went down below it, so it's battling with it. But it closed today at 29,038. It was up at 1.24% on the day, so that's looking good. There's really no direction as far as which way we're going to go right now on the RSI. We're at 57 here. Last time we were back here, we were higher in price on the 4 hour. 1 hour, we can see here that we were actually higher in price with the same RSI level of 65. We were back here. So that's kind of looking good, but being that we're on the 4 hour, is showing us a different story. We really need to have a reversal on the 4 hour to get more of a confirmation that we might be going up higher in price. But right now, there's really no direction as far as which way we want to go on that one. Ethereum, let's take a look at that one really quick as well. That one was up today as well. It was up 1.85% to a close of 1,905. We can see here that the RSI on the daily is at 51. Last time it was back here was actually higher in price, so that's looking a little bit weaker. 4 hour RSI is looking at 59. Last time we were pretty close over here. At that time, price was also higher, so we're starting to see a little bit more of a downtrend here in Ethereum. And then we got 64 on the other side on the 1 hour chart. Last time we were back here, actually price was higher. Go further back, price was actually higher. So we may be starting to see a little bit of a reversal happening in Ethereum, but we need a little bit more time to have a definitive answer on that one. Okay, let's take a look at the miners here really quick as well. We'll put those guys on the daily. Annie was down today 4.94% to 41 cents. Argo was down 4.79% to $1.39. Bit Digital was up today 2.48% to $2.07. Bitfarms was down 3.48% to $1.11. Cypher was up 6.19% to $2.40. Cleanspark was down 0.52% to $3.79. Cores was down 1.65% to 36 cents. DigiHost was down 1.78% to $1.66. DMG was down 5.46% to 20 cents. Greenidge was down 2.2% to 46 cents. Hive was down 3.51% to $3.02. Hut was actually up 0.57% to $1.75. Iris Energy was down 6.67% to $3.64. Marathon was flat on the day at $9.55. Mawson was up nicely today, 8.03% to $3.23. Riot was down 8.83% to $10.74, and that might be based on their mining report for April. Soluna was down 5.57% to 19 cents. Stronghold was down 4.63% to 85 cents. And TeraWolf was down 0.56% to $1.77. So like I said, it was a pretty mixed day in the miners. And then we'll see how this is going to go forward. It was nice to see at least Bitcoin go up in value along with Ethereum. Miners didn't follow suit though, so we'll see if they actually catch up tomorrow a little bit on that one. But that's it for those. Let's take a look at the network hash rate really quick while we're at it here, see what's going on here. We have had quite a wild ride. We are still at currently 346, which I think is the same as we had it yesterday, maybe a little bit higher here. On the 7-day average, 1-day average, we can see that it's coming back up here to 341 right now, million terahashes on the daily, after spiking to our record here at 440 just a day or two ago. Okay, so that's it for those. Let's take a look at our stories here that we do have, and we'll get through this as fast as we can. So Bit Digital announced its monthly production update for April, and here are the dirty details. So in April 2023, the company earned 86.1 Bitcoins, a 28% decrease compared to the prior month. The decrease in production was primarily driven by the relocation of approximately 6,500 mining units from facilities previously operated by Compute North to different hosting sites that commenced during the month, and to a lesser extent, an increase in the Bitcoin network difficulty as well. Everybody's saying the same thing on that one. But it's good to see that they're moving the miners, but they keep moving miners from one spot to another. Hopefully they can keep them there for a while and have them hashing. So they have 11,513 Bitcoin miners representing 1.2 exahash was actively hashing in North America as of April 30th. That is a decrease from what they had in March, and that's based on 6,500 miners being moved around. Okay, treasury holdings of BTC and Ethereum were 553.2 and 9,900.9 of Ethereum. Let's see, what else do we have here? Cash, they still have plenty of cash, 21.9 million of cash as of April 30th. And then as of April 30th, 2023, the company held approximately 6.2 million in USDC, up from approximately 0.5 million as of March 31st. So that's interesting that they're getting into USDC there. And then during the month of April, we got some good news here. The company finalized an agreement to purchase 3,600 factory new S19 mining units with a total maximum hash rate of approximately 324 petahash. So that comes out to be approximately like the 90 terahash miners, and they're paying about, what are they paying? They're paying $8.50 per terahash. That comes out to be about $700 some odd dollars per unit, and they paid about 2.75 million for those. Now, was this a good deal or not? So we're going to take a look at that right now before we get into their mining production updates. So I ran some numbers on this. We do have some assumptions here, as always, with looking this far out ahead. A couple of things that we're looking at here on my calculator that I use for break even on the miners comparison is, number one, network hash rate increase. So we're looking right now, the assumption is 2.5% increase per month. For the first year, 2% increase for the next year, then 1.5% increase year 3. Year 4 will be only 1% increase, but we'll see if that holds or not. And then we have Bitcoin price going up 5% per month this year, the first 12 months, then the next year, 14% after the halving event. And then we're going into basically a bear market after that, down 88.4%, and then we're going kind of back up 5% if that works out. So we're looking at Bitcoin being at the end of this year, 48,000, at the end of next year, somewhere around 232,000, maybe a little bit less than that, we'll see. And then back down to 81,000, and then back up to 145 after that. Hash rate, you can see the increases here on that one, and we're looking for as far as electrical cost, from 9.5 cents down to 4.5 cents. Okay, so here's the calculations that I did on it. We took the 90 terahash miners that they purchased. They paid about $665 for those. Those are about 3,350 watts roughly, and electrical cost at 7 cents, which I'm not sure exactly what they're getting for their electrical costs, seeing that they are using hosting providers. I don't know if they're getting any better rates. They might be getting a better rate than this, but we'll take a look at some numbers here on this. That gets us to a break even at 7 cents at 29 months. And the reason for that is because when you look at this kind of curve here at 7 cents, which is going to be, I believe it's going to be, I believe this one, let me see, we're at 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7. So it's this, not purple, well, kind of purple, burgundy line here. You can see once you get to the halving event, that extends the amount of time that it takes to break even on those because you're mining less, you're mining half of that. Okay, so you can see that curve there happening right there. Looking back over here, if we compare it to the Antminer 122 terahash miners, those are going for about, I believe I did $14 per terahash on those or something like that. So those are a little bit more expensive, but the break even on those is 15 months at 7 cents. So those would be a better break even on them. For these, you're looking at 29 months, is that right? 29 months would have been out here. That doesn't seem to add up really. Let's see here. 29 months, why is it coming up with 29 months for that one? Oh, let's see here. 33 watts electricity cost. Let's see if the cost, if I change the cost in this, if that makes us any difference on the break even. Nope. Okay. So that should have been probably like 19 months to break even compared to the 15 months here. Okay, let's drop the electricity down to 5 cents. And now, okay, now it makes a little bit more sense. Now these would be at 9 months, the 122 terahash, the 90 terahash, which they bought, would be at 8 months if they're that low of a electrical cost right now. Okay, but I'm surprised that the 7 cents has such a huge impact. That would be at 29. These would be at 22.15. Let's take a look at it here. The Antminer 190 here. Let's see if it's calculating it correctly. 29 months. We're going down to 186. Then after the halving event actually would be, here's where they're breaking even. I'm not sure why it's coming up as 29 months. That would have been only 19 months. Let's see here if there's any kind of mistake. Oh, right here, that's why something's not working properly here on that one where they're getting into a negative territory. So yeah, it should be 19 only, 19 months on that one. So given, depending on where they are with electrical costs, if they're around 5 cents or a little bit above that, even at 5.5 cents, it might be an okay decision to go with these lower grade miners. I mean, at 5.5 cents, your break even is about 10 months compared to also 10 months for the 122. So given what we know about network hash rate growth and everything else, I think a better purchase would have been to go with like the 122 terahash miners. I don't know if they could have gotten those right away, but those would have had, I think, a little bit better return depending on where their electrical cost is. If we increase it to 6 cents, you can see now it's 10 months for the Ant miner 122 and 15 months for the 90 terahash miners. Okay, so that's how you can see how quickly the hash rate has an impact on your return profitability, along with electrical cost. Okay, so that's it. We'll leave it at that. I think they could have done a better deal on the miners here, or at least gotten better miners. That's at least my take on it. Okay, so Bit Digital here. They have 82 million shares outstanding. Stock price is around $2 right now. I did not update this from yesterday, so these are yesterday's numbers as far as stock price is concerned. Market cap is about 166 million as it is. Current hash rate about 1.25. That should be 1.2. Did I not update that? I got too many things updating here. Just want to make sure I get this right. 1.2. Nope. Okay. Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, because then I have it coming back here at 1.2. So they're 1.2 right now. But then those miners that got moved are getting plugged back in, so they'll be back up to 1.2 after that, or 1.25. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Future hash rate about 2.8 right now with the miners that they currently have. And we can see here that their BTC value or BTC HODL value to their market cap is about 8.61% of it right now, and the rest of the hash rate. Hash rate left about 1.5 exahash growth. BTC mined this month was 86. BTC sold, so they sold quite a bit here, 258, and they HODL 553 right now as it is. Now, BTC production, you can see it has been coming down here over the last, well, ever since October, really. But you can see the decrease that we've been seeing as the network hash rate has been increasing. March was an anomaly for them. They reported 119. I think that was part of it also, that they were staking some coins. They included that as possibly Bitcoin equivalents in that number there, because otherwise everything else has been coming down here a little bit here. 86 for April, which still isn't bad for them as far as what they mined, but it is definitely a decrease of 33 from the last month. Okay. Then BTC per exahash efficiency has come down to 71.37. We'll see where some of the other miners come in at. I think they're closer to 80 and above, but we'll see. And then Bitcoin HODL, you can see that that has been coming down here the last couple of months. They've been selling HODL to fund growth by miners, things like that. And then you can see how much they sold here at BTC over the last 12 months or so. And the biggest month that they sold in was February, 382. Then now, this current month of April, 258 is where they sold the most. Looking at the hash rate and revenue, you can see hash rate has been kind of all over the place here with them. It's not very steady growth. It's up and down. We were down in May, up through pretty much September into November, and then we're down. We're up a little bit, down. They got some older miners as well, so they're either selling those miners or basically liquidating those older miners, and that's having an impact on their hash rate. And then you can see the monthly hash rate difference here as well. And we've had quite a couple of, well, we had a couple good months here where increases were good, and then we had little increases here and there, and also about 4 months of decreases in hash rate as well. So that not too good there. Bitcoin monthly revenue, you can see here that's all over the place as well based on what they're actually producing here. So they ended up about 2.48 million in revenue for the month of April. They were at almost 3 million in March. So that is definitely a decrease there. And then BT sold value, you can see how much they've actually sold here in the last 12 months as well, with a pretty sizable sale of 7.43 million here in April, which I think was part of the deposits that they put down and things like that on some of the contracts that they have signed up with the hosting providers. And that might be the reason for that. Okay, last 4 quarter revenue. You guys have seen this before. This is the same. It hasn't changed. We'll get this updated when they report Q1 results. And cost of mine depreciation, that has stayed the same here. That has been coming down, so that's good there. Bitcoin mined quarterly has been going up, so that's good there as well. Debt to equity, they really don't have a lot of debt. They have a lot of cash to pay all of that debt, so that's good there. And then total current assets, you can see here, and total current liabilities are very low. So not a big deal there. Okay, institutions did decrease a little bit here from April, or from, well, when we checked this was from 4.5 to 5.3. That decreased by 1, but it did increase the shares to 14.11 million from 14.09 million. But the percentage stayed the same, 17.09%. We do have a change in the analyst ratings. We're down to only 1 buy rating now. We had 2 before, it seems like, in the prior month. And the price targets also changed from, well, the high stayed the same at 3. The average went up to $3, and the low went up to $3 as well. So $3 across the board on them. They're currently at $2, roughly around $2 and change. Stock-wise, I have an P of 10 with their estimated yearly revenue for the last 4 quarters at approximately 33 million. So if we look at 50% net income from gross revenue and a P of 10, we're looking at $2.01. They are currently really close to that. They are pretty much very well valued, I think, at this point in time. But if we're going to be using the 75% net income from gross revenue, then we're looking at $3.02. So they do have a little bit of room to go up, kind of like what the analysts here are thinking as well on them. Okay, so that's it for that one. The only thing with them is they got to continue to grow out, get newer miners. You can see here that they have a lot of older miners that are 59 terahash, 19. Those are all unplugged now. I'm guessing that 63 might be some running out here. But they are getting some of these newer miners, like the 100 terahash miners and the 88 terahash as well. So they got to continue to get newer miners, continue to grow. They got plenty of cash to do it. So I'm surprised they're not doing it more, especially as we're getting close to the halving event. They really need to get that, I think, sparked a little bit more. Okay? So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and let's get into the next one here, which is going to be on, next one is Cleanspark. So Cleanspark releases April 2023 Bitcoin mining update. Here's what Zach had to say. The results of these efforts is that while we have mined fewer Bitcoin this month, the Bitcoin we have mined is being driven to our bottom line. As we look to the next few months, we expect Washington to be fully energized, which will pump our hash rate as we maintain our competitive edge in these tight market conditions. And then we are looking forward to sharing our quarterly performance in more detail, including some exciting updates on our expansion plans in Washington and Sandersville on our earnings call next week. So that will be interesting to see what they're planning, if they're planning to get beyond the 16 exahash that they had targeted for this year. So that might be interesting to take a listen on that one. Okay. Here's a production update. So Bitcoin mined in April was 524, which is less than in March. Total BTC holdings as of April was 313, so that is an increase. Total BTC converted for operations and growth in April was 407, and then currently deployed fleet of about 67,700 miners at 6.7 exahash. So no change in that right now. Okay, and let's see here. I think that's it. Let's take a look at the numbers that we do have for them, and we'll go over it all. Okay, so Cleanspark has about almost 78 million shares outstanding, roughly. Its stock price is about $3. It's down a little bit today, around $3.60, 70 cents, something like that. Market cap is 287 million. They are way undervalued, in my opinion, based on where some of the other miners are at right now that have a lower hash rate, but have grown quite nicely. And if you compare Cleanspark's growth over the last 12 months, 15 months really from last year, they've had fantastic growth, continuing to grow every single month. And they're going to continue to do that once they get Sandersville and Washington up and running completely, get miners in there. They should be growing, growing to 16 exahash by the end of this year and potentially more. Okay, so current hash rate 6.7 exahash. Future hash rate is about 15.8. That's reported right now. They have a lot to grow still. 9 exahash left, 42% operational, 135% growth left in them. Their BTC HODL is 313, valued about 8.8 million. And their BTC HODL value of their market cap is only 2.9%. The rest is their hash rate. Hash rate left, we already talked about that. BTC HODL 313. BTC mined was 524. BTC sold was 407. There's the charts for that. And then you can see their BTC production. The best month was in January at 697. But since then, February was a down month. We had less days. We had 3 days less than in January. Had only 28 days in February. March, they went back up. In April, came back down. And during that whole time, we've had the network hash rate go up, difficulty go up. So everybody's mining less if they stay the same with their hash rate. Month-over-month difference BTC mined, you can see here how that's kind of been going up for the most part. And then we had a couple months here where it kind of dipped a little bit here. We've only had really 3 months out of 12 or so that have dipped. BTC HODL, you can see that they have been selling a large portion of it, but they've also been hodling a little bit here. They definitely sold a lot in September. September was the reason that they sold was for the purchase of the Sandersville facility from Mawson. That got them down to 290. Then they went down to 100 in February, and they've been growing that ever since here this year. So that's good to see that as well, that they are hodling a little bit. And I'm sure they're going to use that to buy more miners possibly or for expansion. BTC efficiency is right now at 78.2, so it's kind of what we saw in Bit Digital as well. Bit Digital was, let's see what Bit Digital was. BTC efficiency was 71, so that's actually higher than Bit Digital. Bit Digital is typically one of the top 3 miners as far as efficiency is concerned. So Cleanspark should be within that range for this month as well, being at 78. They were at 89 here in March. BTC sold, you can see how much they've been selling here throughout the months that we've been tracking it. And then hash rate and revenue. We can see here that their hash rate, like I said, ever since the beginning of last year of 2022, they've had fantastic growth all the way to 6.6 and then 6.7 exahash here. And they're just now kind of getting ready to start that ramp up again, possibly at the end of this quarter, going into next quarter as well. We'll see how those numbers are going to impact their hash rate growth there. Monthly revenue, Bitcoin was coming down here throughout the last year. They were able to actually get increases in their revenue from month to month for the most part, except for November, December, where Bitcoin really dumped hard down to 15,000 by the end of December. And then January, they had a nice increase when they had mined a lot more Bitcoin, but they also, I think, curtailed in December as well, which was a reason for that decrease there. But overall, they're about 15 million right now a month in revenue, 15.12 here for the month of April, which is still really good there. Hash rate growth, you can see how fast they grew here throughout the year. 924, almost 1 exahash being added in October, 700 being added in December, 400 in January, and then a little bit here in March, 99. Bitcoin sold value, you can see that there. Last 4 quarters. Q4 was basically Q3 in 2022. And that was when pretty much everybody was pretty low as far as production was concerned. But they were able to go back up in Q1, and now this was Q1 or Q4 in 2022. Q1, which is this one here, is a nice increase for them as well. 42 million possibly is estimated right now. Operating costs did increase here in Q1, which is Q4 of 2022. Their calendar year ends in Q3 of 2022, so this kind of gets confusing a little bit on that one. Okay, other metrics, cost to mine Bitcoin has been coming down through Q4. Q1 went up a little bit here to 13.3. Bitcoin mines quarterly, you can see that it has been increasing nicely here, which is what we want to see. Their debt to equity has been growing a little bit here, but not too bad. It's still 0.139 here at the end of Q1 or Q4. Current ratio has been coming down a little bit, which isn't too bad, but we'd like to see that come back up a little bit to at least a 1 or better. Total current assets, we can see that's been kind of all over the place depending on when they're buying miners, buying facilities. They pull on that trigger quite a bit there. And then total current liabilities has increased a little bit as they've grown, obviously, to get larger in size. Now, institutions has increased here, 265 institutions for them. They also increased a little bit in shares to 25.9 million from 25.4 million, which is good. And then percentage owned is up to 33.38 from 32.67, which is also good. And then as far as analyst ratings, we still have the 1 strong buy, 3 buy ratings, 0 hold, 0 underperform, 0 sells. Price targets of $12 and for the high, $7.75 for the average and $5 for the low, which is, I think, on the very, very low end of things. I have them currently with the combined total of 141 million. This includes, let me see if I can pull this up. So the last 3 quarters includes basically the first quarter of 2023, and then which is an estimate right now, and then we have the 2 reported quarters, their Q1 that they reported on, and Q4 here in September. And then we're also using the latest quarter here, which is up the current quarter. So that's how we're getting the combined total of 141. 50% net income with a P of 20, they should be around $18.16. The reason I'm at P of 20 is because of their growth. They're going to be growing to about 16 exahash this year. They're going to be basically in the top 3-4 miners if you include Core in that or not, depending on Core if it gets out of bankruptcy. But right now it would be basically Marathon would be number 1. Cleanspark would be number 2 if you don't include Core. If you include Core, they would be number 3, I believe, at 16 exahash. And then you got Riot at number 4 spot or number 3 spot, depending on if you include Core in that. Okay, so that's why I think they are way undervalued. They should be valued at a much higher rating than this. So I'm looking at $18.16 with a 50% net income, 75% net income, looking at $27.23. And the reason for that is because they don't have a lot of shares still out. They only have, what was it, 78 million shares right now, which if you look at some of the other miners like Marathon and Riot, they have over 100, close to 200,000 million shares out. So that's why they should get a little bit better price premium on the stock to be valued closer to those guys, I think. Right, so they're valued at 300 million right now. They should be at least probably like 1.2 billion right now, at least 4 times where they are right now. Okay, so like I said, they are way undervalued in my opinion. But as always, not financial advice. Do your own research on this. I think they're going to do really well this year, and I think eventually retail investors will notice their growth here and will kind of pile in a little bit more towards later on in the year. Okay, so that's it for Cleanspark. Let me know what you guys think of them, and let's get into the last one here, which is going to be on Riot. So Riot announces April 2023 production and operations updates, and here's what we have from them. We got some interesting things. So Riot produced 639 Bitcoins, which is an increase of approximately 26% compared to last year. Riot held approximately 7,112 Bitcoins as of April 30th. And then Riot sold 600 Bitcoins, generating approximately 17.6 million on net. And they had deployed fleet of 94,176 miners with a hash rate capacity of 10.5 exahash. And this does not include the 17,000 miners that are offline as a result of damage to Building G from the severe weather in late December in Texas. I am still really surprised that they haven't gotten this fixed yet. I don't know what kind of extensive damage they had done to that facility, but it must have been really extensive for it to be this bad where they haven't repaired it now in almost December. So let's give them January, February, March, April. You got 4 months where they could have gotten this repaired. Not sure what the holdup is there. It would have been nice to say, here's the holdup, we're waiting on parts for this. Those are special order or something like that. But nope, nothing like that. And then here we go. Comment from CEO Jason Less. Additionally, as we near completion of the long-term expansion project at our Rockdale facility, our teams have been focused on operational enhancements to increase efficiency, including improving cooling in buildings D and E through the installation of waterfalls. So they're doing water evaporative cooling, basically. We also continue to work on repairs to our damaged emerging buildings, Building G, which remains on track to come back online in the second half of 2023. So now we're looking at 6, 7, maybe 8 months before that one's back online. That's shocking to me that that's taking that long to get something repaired. Maybe they're retrofitting it with better equipment, better products, and things like that. Maybe that's why it's taking so long, because they learned from their mistakes of what happened in that facility. Okay, and let's see here. Estimated hash rate growth. So due to the ongoing impact of damage incurred on building F and G during the severe winter storms in Texas, in late December, Riot now anticipates achieving a total self-mining hash rate capacity of 12.5 in the second half of 2023, where it was supposed to be the first half of 2023. So that is a bit disappointment as well. But nonetheless, they are growing, or at least they should be growing. But they're getting pretty close to their full hash rate here as it is. Okay, so let's take a look at Riot here. Riot, I got updated also to the latest dashboard here. Let's zoom this out so you can see everything. So Riot has about 166 million shares outstanding. Their stock price is around $11, roughly $11.78, roughly around there. Market cap is almost at $2 billion for them, right? So they're going to be at 12.5 exahash by the end of this year. Cleanspark is going to be at 16 exahash. Cleanspark has a market cap of 300 million. Riot has a market cap of almost 2 billion. Given that Riot does have a big HODL position, 7,000 Bitcoins valued at 200 million, but still, hash rate growth is hash rate growth, and I would think that Cleanspark should at least catch, roughly around 1.2 billion to 1.5 billion easily, based on their future hash rate growth and how they're growing. But that's on another issue there. We'll take a look at those numbers when we compare all the miners for the month of April and see how those all stacked up. Okay, so current hash rate 10.5, future about 12.5. They have about 2 exahash left to get installed, which is pretty much installed. They just got to get it fixed and operating to get to that level there. Now, BTC production, you can see here, has peaked in January, kind of the same thing that we've seen in Cleanspark. That has come down here in February. February, like I said, was a shorter month, so that's to be expected. And then March was 695, and now April was 639. Bitcoin network hash rate has been increasing. That's causing them to mine less. Without growth, you're going to be mining less. Okay, we've talked over all these here numbers. You can see the monthly differences in Bitcoins generated, or revenue from Bitcoins. And that's kind of been down, up, down, up. It's kind of a little bit of a roller coaster ride here a little bit for them. Bitcoin HODL position has been continuing to grow here continually throughout the last 12 months or so. You can see that has been nicely. Bitcoin efficiency per exahash, they've always done a lot of curtailment usually, getting credits for the energy that they sell back into the system, and they've always kind of been around the 67 range, somewhere around there, but they're down to 60.8 right now as it is. So that's pretty on the low end side of things, not as efficient as some of the miners, but they do get credits for the electricity that they give back. Bitcoin sold, you can see it has been coming down or increasing here as the months have been going. January was 714, February was 595, March was 681, now in April 599. And then the hash rate growth, I'm not sure why this one's not popping up here. Might be too many digits in here. But you can see that they went down here a little bit in July. Then they started ramping up quite nicely here through November into December. And they've kind of stayed flat through December and January, went up a little bit here in February, up some more in March. In April, they've been kind of flat here as well. So we'll have to just keep an eye on that one, see how that one plays out. And I'm surprised I'm not getting these numbers popping up here. Let's see what's causing that issue there. Shouldn't be any issue there. Everything's being selected. I'll have to take a look at it, see why that's doing it, correct it later on. Okay, so that's the hash rate growth there. Value, basically their Bitcoin revenue each month has been growing quite nicely here. And this is just on that part of the business. I don't include anything else for them, just their self-mining. They were at 19.1 million here in April of last year. They're getting close to that. They're at 18.44 million. Now, given that Bitcoin price was much higher at that time, and the network hash rate has increased quite a bit here over the last year, it's very impressive that they are getting back to that number there as well. Okay, hash rate, you can see here. Why do I have hash rate twice here? That should have, I'll get this fixed. This should have been something else. I must have made a mistake there. I'll get it fixed later on. Bitcoin sold value, you can see here, this should have been hash rate difference month to month. And we can do that right now while we're thinking about it before I forget. That should have been over here. Okay, so that's done, hash rate difference. There we go. That looks a little bit better there. And huge growth here, obviously, in December. Pretty good growth here as well in March, 700 petahash growth. So that's been pretty good growth overall the last 6-8 months of growth. BTC sold value, you can see that they've been selling more and more Bitcoin as it looks like. They're sold 17.286 million roughly, and that's based on my Bitcoin average price for the month of April. We've gone over this last 4 quarters. They are starting to get back up and increasing those, so that's always good to see that number is coming back up. Even Bitcoin is being down, network hash rate being up. Operating costs have increased here as well, as to be expected. Cost to mine Bitcoin is about 13.36 at the end of Q4. We'll see where Q1 comes in at. What else can we take a look at? Bitcoin mined quarterly. So they've definitely in Q4 had a nice increase here because they had a decrease in Q3. Debt to equity is really good. Current ratio is really good as well. No issues there. Total current assets, they got plenty of assets here, and then very little debt as well. Or, well, 121 million is not little, but they have a lot of assets to cover that right now, so it's not a big deal. There. As far as institutions are concerned, institutions did decrease a little bit here to 331, but the shares increased to 64.2 million from 63 million, so that's good there. Percentage owned went up to 38.49% from 37, so that's good there. We did have one analyst, looks like, drop out, so we have now 3 strong buys, 7 buys, 1 hold, 0 underperform, 0 sells, and the price targets definitely increased here to $17 for the high, $11.44 for the average, and $6 for the low. So that's good there. I'm using make sure I'm using so I'm using the last quarter, which is estimated, then the 2 prior quarters, which are definitive numbers, and this is just for their self-mining, as always. And I'm using the current quarter that we're in, which is estimated as well. So we're looking at about 155 million, 50% net income from gross revenue, PE of 20. We're looking at $9.34. They are at $11.78. I think they're a little bit overvalued right now, but given that they are growing nicely, they do have a nice hodl position. I can see how they could get that. 75% net income, we're looking at $14.01, which is kind of closer in line with what they're looking at. Based on the analysts, I think they're going to be at about at 25.30. Well, if you go to $17 on the PE on the 50%, you're looking at a PE of 37 right now. So that's pretty high, right? And we've seen that before with the miners, especially. I'm using 20 as a conservative number here, but they can definitely get much higher in that PE rating going forward based on future growth as well. Okay, especially if Bitcoin starts going up in value, that has a huge impact on them. So overall, I think they're still, right now, they're pretty well valued as it is. given that we're going to possibly see future growth in Bitcoin, I would say they're possibly undervalued, but that will change, obviously, as Bitcoin value goes up in time. Their revenue is going to go up in time as well, and that number is going to change on these as well. Okay, so that's it. Overall, they got to obviously get the facility, the one building fixed that has emergent cooling as fast as possible to get back up to closer to 12 exahash. Other miners getting installed, everything else, and then we'll see where they're going to grow from there. But overall, they've done a fantastic job so far. We know that they curtail regularly. That's not a surprise there, so that's never a surprise for us. And just like to see the continued growth and get their efficiency up better. That's the only thing we can really do. All right, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of all this. As always, like I said, I'm going to chop these videos up into clips for all the different miners for their reports. Those will be coming out later on this week. And you guys can take a look at those as well. And what else? Oh, thank you so much for the Patreon members there for their continued support. It's only $4 a month, and you get access to all of these spreadsheets and everything else, all these charts. And then thank you to all the YouTube members as well, subscribers, for watching. For those that subscribe for the $4 a month or something like that, you guys will get the cutouts of these charts as well, dashboards coming up here tomorrow. I said I was going to give out some today. Got a little bit behind on things, so I'll get those out tomorrow to everyone. That's everything that's been updated in the last 2 days. Okay, that's it. That's a lot. All right, we'll see how the rest of the week is going to end up as far as how the markets react tomorrow after we got the 25 basis points today. And we'll see how Bitcoin does along with the miners, and we'll see where we end up from there. We'll see if we have any more bank failures coming up because of the 25 basis points as well. Okay, that's it. I hope you guys had a great one. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Until then,